For my final project, I will discuss how genetically modified foods, or GM foods, relate to global disruption, well-being, and information technology, or IT. More specifically, I will address why GM foods offer a potential solution to the growing demands of feeding the ever-increasing world population, but also how they affect humans. In addition, while the general public has an uncertain sentiment of these foods, I will discuss how IT can help mitigate the uncertainty and make consumers more aware of the consequences posed by the production and consumption of these foods. There are a variety of crops grown around the world that have been genetically modified, meaning that they are produced by methods of genetic engineering from organisms with changes introduced into their DNA. Some of these crops include soybeans, papayas, canola, tomatoes, corn, sugar beets, alfalfa, and cotton. And yes, alfalfa and cotton are used in the production of many food products. Now, many of these crops are grown on a large scale so that they can be distributed not only in their local regions, but also globally. Here, as of 2014, we can see just where genetically modified crops are being grown. Somewhat unsurprisingly, the majority of these crops are being grown in the United States, and although it is not shown, according to a report in the U.S. National Library of Medicine, the global food production should be sufficient to feed every member of society, independent of religious, political, or geographical situation. So although it is popular opinion that GM foods are important and should be developed further in order to feed those especially in developing countries, this is not quite a valid argument, as my previous statement combats it. In fact, in the United States, according to polls conducted by the Pew Research Center in 2014, the public is divided on whether they believe GM foods are generally safe or unsafe, as seen on the left. And what's more interesting is the fact that the general public leans more toward distrust in scientists' understanding of genetic modification. This is actually understandable because it is a relatively new concept, developed in the recent past decades, and unbiased findings have not been revealed to the public on a large scale. Another poll conducted by the Pew Research Center in 2014 showed that U.S. adults are split whether they check for GM labeling. Yet, as seen in the previous poll, more people are weary of the concept of GM foods. Now, to me, this means that the public is generally misinformed about these foods. The good news is that there are organizations that are gaining way in the media that advocate for the public's right to knowledge about GM products. The Non-GMO Project is one of these organizations that is dedicated to making it easy for consumers to make their own choices on whether or not they want to buy and support GM products. Another organization, Label GMOs, is also committed to allowing consumers to make educated choices when purchasing products. What's great about this organization is that it utilizes the internet and its ease of communication to let its members and non-members learn and connect with others interested in the same ideas. More and more, the internet is providing consumers with information in order for them to form their own opinions and make educated choices. Especially with GM foods, this is important because it is a relatively new concept to the general public, and not much is known since it has not been reported widely in the media. With all of the ways to spread information on the internet, organizations like the aforementioned have the opportunity to spread and ultimately encourage action among consumers. Thank you!